Bastrika, the process of inhaling and exhaling rapidly and fully, followed by Bahiya Kumbhaka, in this case holding the breath after exhalation, comprise the popular Wim Hof or Tummo breathing. This practice induces a form of hypoxia, oxygen deprivation, through the following mechanisms. 1. Hyperventilation, rapid breathing, reduces the blood flow to the brain, a light form of cerebral vasoconstriction. 2. The reduction in carbon dioxide decreases the amount of oxygen released from hemoglobin. See Haldane effect. 3. A prolonged kumbhaka breath hold after exhale lowers blood oxygen saturation levels SpO2 significantly. In normal breathing, oxygen saturation is at around 95%. The drop of SpO2 percentage can be measured with a simple pulse oximeter finger clip. The here relatable medical term mammalian diving reflex occurs when the head goes underwater and stimulates a set of physiological responses. The same reflexes happen slightly delayed, the moment when you feel the lack of breath when holding your breath. The responses are cardiovascular changes. Naturally, the body wants to ensure the maximization of the use of the available oxygen. The heart rate begins to drop and the blood pressure begins to rise. The effect of the breathing plus breath hold on the autonomous nervous system is therefore contradictory in nature. The dropping of the heart rate is a vagal response, parasympathetic response. The constriction of the blood vessels, on the other hand, and the rising blood pressure is a sympathetic response. This means that both parasympathetic and sympathetic responses happen at the same time. The body does this logically. It slows down the heart rate because it does not want to circulate the blood too quickly in order to conserve oxygen. But if the heart beats slower, blood pressure still needs to be sustained in order to maintain a sufficient blood circulation. Some parts of the body, for example the limbs, muscles, etc., can survive with less oxygen for a longer period of time. Therefore, blood vessels to these less vital areas are being constricted. What cannot survive without oxygen, though, is the heart and the brain. Therefore, the body changes its circulation pattern in order to sustain sufficient circulation to the heart and to the brain. In the extended kumbhaka practices in yoga, these responses, lighter in form, are triggered repeatedly. The contradicting parasympathetic and sympathetic responses, slowing down, speeding up the heart, pose a significant adaptive stress on the cardiovascular system by affecting the electrical conducting system of the heart. Therefore, these practices should only, if at all, be attempted with caution in case of an irregular heartbeat or other cardiovascular conditions. In general, when doing prolonged kumbhaka practices like this, one question becomes evident. Are we able to maintain a parasympathetic state? When practicing extended breath holding, we might experience a gradual expansion of the envelope of our limits, here the time of kumbhaka. Thereby, we should not exceed our limits, showing signs of shaking, sweating, etc. A good limit is where we reach a balance, a calm state of no significant exaggerated signs of the sympathetic nervous system. The recovery after kumbhaka is important and should be monitored through the above mentioned parameters: heart rate, blood pressure. Prolonged breath holding is the central definition of pranayama. The Yoga Sutras on pranayama, the action of stopping the breath after exhalation, after inhalation, after a natural breath. The reason for breath holding is manifold. From the perspective of the Yoga Sutras, for psychological reasons, with the background of body to breath to mind stillness. As in reverse stated Sutra 1.31, quote, pain, depression, shaking of the body, and unrhythmic breathing are the accompanying symptoms of mental distraction, end quote. The conclusion hereof is that it is necessary to still the breath. In pranayama, coming to the natural stoppage of breath, especially after exhalation, coming to a state of equanimity of breath, remaining here for longer and longer. The same can be achieved by applying effort, hatha, through the use of bandha. For example, as per definition, the holding of breath after exhalation in Uddiyana Bandha. Physiologically, these could be classified as resilience practices. The exposing to hypoxia, lack of oxygen for a certain amount of time, trains the autonomic nervous system and the adaptability of the tissue through short-term stress. This function leads to the renewal of tissue, as shown in studies on muscle growth on restricted blood supply. Metabolic exhaustion triggers the muscle to rebuild itself. In final conclusion, the significant value in an induced hypoxic stress lies in the adaptability that results through the causation of this stress physiologically. In the long run, it is possible to reduce inflammation and increase longevity. Similarly, fasting or HRV, heart rate variability, exercises induce a certain level of stress to the body, yet train the body to adapt. Okay, so now let's get ready for practice, lying down in a comfortable position. Finding your natural breath and just relaxing as much as possible. In just a moment we can begin with the first of 4 sets, breathing 36 rounds fully and deeply in and out, followed by kumbhaka, so holding the breath out after the last exhalation. Both the beginning and the end of the set will be indicated by a bell. So let's get ready to begin. Whenever you feel the need to inhale, please take a deep breath in, focusing on the top of the head and holding for 15 seconds. If you haven't already, taking a deep breath in, holding the breath on the top of the head. And letting go. Alright, let's get ready for round number 2. Whenever you feel the need to inhale, please take a deep breath in, focusing on the top of the head and holding for 15 seconds. And if you haven't already, taking a deep breath in and holding the breath at the top of the head. And letting go. And let's get ready for round number 3. Whenever you feel the need to inhale, please take a deep breath in, focusing on the top of the head and holding for 15 seconds. And a deep inhale, holding the breath at the top of the head. And letting go. And let's get ready for the last round. Inhaling deeply, holding the breath at the top of the head. And letting go. Relaxing the body completely.